Well, good evening, everyone. It is Dwayne Martins coming at you with another Facebook Live. Tonight, I want to visit with you about a book. Now, those of you who've been to my speeches before or read my book or even know me a little bit know that I try to continue learning something all the time. Well, there's sometimes some old classic books that you've read that just mean a lot to you. And one of the books, hello Hannah, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So one of the books that has been a big deal to me, there's an author and one of my favorite speakers by the name of Brian Tracy. Now Brian Tracy's been around a long time. He's known as the personal success guru, written tons of books, lots of programs out there. This book is called Maximum Achievement. It's called Strategies and Skills that will unlock your hidden powers to success. I attended a seminar in 1995. I drove from Montana out to Washington State to see Brian Tracy live. And I remember the date because it was October 3rd, 1995, and they postponed the beginning of the seminar until the O.J. Simpson verdict had come out on the news, okay? That's how big of a deal that was. But this book has stuck with me all those years, and I have numerous times quoted from this book, from the chapter that I'm going to visit with you on tonight, to lots of friends, classmates, and just family members, etc., for the principle that is in this chapter. So it's a timeless deal, and it's going to help you out with some of the things that you may be facing. So it's called The Law of Forgiveness, and I'm going to read just a little bit of this tonight. The fifth way to eliminate guilty feelings and reactions is the most effective method of all. It's perhaps the most powerful and the practical principle ever taught to build happiness, health, prosperity, and wonderful relationships with others. Now, who doesn't want all of those things? What I want to refer to earlier, he says, is the law of forgiveness. The law of forgiveness states that you are mentally healthy to the exact degree which you freely forgive and forget offenses against you. Now, probably the reason that I've read this so much to other people is because I need reminded of this all the time. The inability to forgive lies at the root of guilt, resentment, and most other negative emotions. When you're holding grudges and remaining angry towards people who you feel have hurt you is a major cause of all the psychosomatic illnesses. The inability to forgive causes diseases that run the entire gamut, from simple headaches to heart attacks to cancers and to strokes. To fulfill your potential, to develop your full mental capacity, and to liberate your emotion and spiritual energies, you absolutely must forgive everyone who has ever hurt you. Oh my God, you think you can do that? You must let go and walk away from your anger and your resentment. You must refuse to continue paying over and over for the same unfortunate experience. You must put your desire to live a great life, to develop a fine character, and become an outstanding person higher than any negative emotion you might still be holding towards another person. Because your outer world reflects everything that's going on in your inner world, you attract people and circumstances that harmonize with your dominant thoughts. Because you become what you think about, your ability to forgive is the one indispensable quality that you have to develop through practice, because it isn't easy, if you sincerely want to be happy, healthy, and completely free. So he goes on to talk about there's three people that you need to forgive. The first one is to free yourself from negative guilts of inferiority, inadequacy, undeservingness, resentment, and anger. And when you let this go, you will experience a feeling of release and joy, and your life will begin to open up in some awesome ways. And that's very true, because it's happened for me. Like I said, I've used this book and these principles since 1995. So the first person that you have to forgive, and the first people you have to forgive, is your parents. Now, any of you parents out there, including myself, we've done some pretty stupid things, right? Some brainless activities. So you need to forgive your parents, whether they're living or not. Because I know in my own family, my dad's been gone since 1990, and there's still some that are holding resentment and that stuff. So he's controlling their life that many years later. You must forgive them for every injustice and for every act of unkindness or cruelty that you feel they inflicted upon you. You must rise above the childhood hurts and let them go, accepting that your parents hopefully did the best that they could. Because a lifetime of resentment is a terrible price to pay for something about which nothing could have been done anyway. So he goes on to talk about 3 different ways you can forgive your parents, but I'm going to get on to the second person that you need to forgive, and that is everyone else. Because all of us have hurt each other, some intentionally, some unintentionally, but the second person you have to forgive is everyone else. You have to unconditionally forgive every single person in your life who has ever hurt you in any way. You have to forgive every wicked, senseless, brainless, cruel thing that anybody's ever said or done or spoken about you, without exception. The refusal to forgive just one person can in itself undermine and destroy your future happiness. Now, here's the cool thing. You don't have to like that person. You just have to forgive him. And this is the key. This is one of the things that has helped me along the way. That once I discovered this in 1995, that forgiveness is a perfectly selfish act. It has nothing to do with the other person. It only has to do with your own peace of mind, your own happiness, and your own success of your own future. Perhaps the dumbest thing in the world is for you to still be angry or resentful towards a person who doesn't even care about you at all. As some put it, I never hold grudges. While you're holding a grudge, they're out dancing. Okay, and the third person that you need to forgive is yourself. All of us have done brainless, stupid things that we need to let go of and forgive ourselves for before we can move on. And don't spend a lifetime in resentment and regret. So remember, you're not perfect. You've made mistakes. You do a lot of foolish things in the course of growing and maturing. And if you had to do them again, you probably wouldn't do it. But remorse and regret over previous mistakes serves no purpose. It is a sign of weak character. Remorse is often used as an excuse for not moving ahead. All wise and mature men and women have made silly, foolish mistakes. That's how they became wise and mature. Isn't that true? And now you must forgive yourself for everything. Forgiveness is the key to the kingdom of mental and spiritual development. And when you practice being a total forgiving person, you're emulating some of the character traits of the greatest minds out there. So, final paragraph here, putting this principle into practice. Here's a simple exercise. He says, first take a sheet of paper and make a list of everyone you can think of who's ever hurt you in any way. Second, you just go down the list, read the name, think of what had happened, and say the words, I forgive him or her for everything. I now let it go. Repeat these words 2 or 3 times for each person. Put the list away, and from now on, whenever that individual name comes up, just know that you've forgiven them. And here's the cool clincher right here at the end. Your whole life begins to open up for you when you finally forgive and let go. Forgiveness is the key to the kingdom of inner peace. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, and the most important. So again, for those of you that turned in late, this was from a seminar that I went to in 1995 from Brian Tracy, and the book is called Maximum Achievement. It's awesome. I appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. 1,000 thanks.